With people gathering for the holidays, it's raising even more concerns. Joining us now is Dr. Lipi Roy, an internal medicine physician. Dr. Roy, what is causing the spike in cases and who is the most at risk?
Well, good morning, Merry Christmas and Happy Holidays, Christina. But it's really not so happy if you're someone who's experiencing whooping cough, also known as pertussis, which is a highly contagious upper respiratory infection caused by the bacterium Bordatella pertussis. As you pointed out, we're actually, according to the CDC, we're seeing a six-fold rise in cases in whooping cough compared to this same time last year. As of December 14th, we're now seeing 32,000 cases of whooping cough compared to 5,100 a year ago. So why is this? Several factors, according to experts. One is a lower vaccination rate. We're also seeing declining or waning protection from the vaccine itself, but we're also seeing improved testing. So why does this matter? Your audience might be wondering, well, it's just a cough, no big deal, right? It actually is a big deal because pertussis, as I said, highly contagious upper respiratory infection, and the initial symptoms may appear like a cold, runny nose, congestion, mild cough, fever, but after 1 to 2 weeks, the signs and symptoms can really worsen, and thick mucus can develop and block upper airways, and it can lead to a severe, continuous hacking cough, followed by an inhalation that sounds like high-pitched inhalation sounding like a whoop. Note that not everyone develops that whoop, but you can also develop severe complications, worse in infants, like pneumonia, breathing stopping, dehydration, weight loss. And just to be clear, who gets the whooping cough? It's actually mostly infants that are at highest risk, and particularly infants who have yet to complete the vaccination course, Christina.
That sounds very scary. I also want to ask you about another concerning headline we're following, and that is bird flu. Big cats have died in a wildlife sanctuary from the virus, and there was this recent recall of cat food after it was linked to bird flu contamination. How concerned should people be about this virus, and how is it being transmitted from animals to people? Can you kind of explain how that happens?
Yeah, so bird flu, also known as the avian influenza caused by the virus H5N1, it continues to spread among cattle in multiple states across the United States. So why is that happening? According to experts, there is an erosion in public health budgets, neglect for the safety of agriculture workers, deference to the farm industry, and really a sluggish pace of adopting federal interventions. If you recall, Christina, on December 6th, just a few weeks ago, the USDA launched a national milk testing strategy, and accompanied by that was a federal order for new interventions, but these haven't really been followed. And sadly, these are many of the same patterns we in the medical profession observed during the COVID pandemic, for which I served on the front lines. The USDA has already pumped $1.7 billion into controlling the spread of the bird flu among poultry farms since 2022. And to your point, like it's not just cattle that are being affected. Over 60 people in the United States have been infected, mainly by cows or poultry, but cases could skyrocket if the virus evolves to efficiently spreading between humans. And one person in Louisiana was critically ill. So, you know, over time, over centuries, these viruses, these pathogenic viruses have learned to spread from one animal species to another, and then from animals to humans. So they just evolve. Mutations in their DNA, RNA, and their makeup have enabled them to then infect humans. So we need to be very, very careful and really tamper or decrease the spread of this virus, Christina.
All right, I used to work on farms as a kid, and they always used to say, don't kiss the chickens. I guess this is why. Dr. Lipi Roy, thank you so much. Okay, I won't, I promise. All right.